Lucy Arnaud collapses on stage while singing her song, Hymnes Allemand. The microphone tumbles over. She lays moribund on the platform, gasping for air. Her fans were shocked and raised on their feet, covering their mouths in mercy. Volunteers helped to carry her out of the stage to her limousine, along with themselves. The crowd chased the vehicle to have one last look, but were held back by the guards. The driver drove a good couple of minutes on the road, and they stopped at her studio. They proceeded into her workplace, all struggling to carry her properly, as if something is pulling her down. She makes one last wish, to record one last song. They, without hesitation, let her sing in the studio. The decision was made to record it. Azawakh, mon ang, mon ami, mon enfant, venir à moi. Her voice was so distorted and hoarse that they could not bear to hear it. It was not the Lucy Arnaud that they had listened to before. Suddenly she interrupted from singing, and one of them quickly checked her. Her nose bled profusely. Blood streamed slowly down her lips. He probed her pulse and heartbeat, evidently being dead, but kept singing the same lines. He backs away from her. Her red eyes gazed at him. He stared at his reflection in her eyes. The lights started flickering, and she rips her hair out over the scalp. Deafening screams and crying reigned the entire place. The recording still goes through. Peculiar barks could be heard from the halls when her solidifying, soul-chilling hymn sang again. They tried to run away out of the studio, but the doors were oddly soldered. The barks were louder, and so was Lucy. The lights sparked and went out. The tremor shook the whole studio, knocking things off the shelves and falling over. Something, most probably an animal, banged the closed door, trying hard to get in. Venir à moi, Azawakh! Their ears instantly burst and rung as the door flew open. Something was waiting for her at the door. Lucy runs out of the studio, trampling of the bodies of the dead men with clawed-out eyes. The whole building collapses in response to the quake. Lucy did not make it, but she stuttered out the words of her last song. Azawakh, mon ang, mon ami, mon enfant, venir à moi. Now, this has been a local legend in Lambesc, France, in the 20th century, but did not last long, and, for all intents and purposes, was completely forgotten. An earthquake in 1909 had hit Provence, France. 46 dead, 250 injured. 2,000 buildings damaged. The areas affected including Lambesc. It's reached number 6 on the Richter scale, the most massive and most destructive earthquake in metropolitan France. It was rumored that reconstruction was built on the studio, but no one had any idea which building it was. But, however, reports of a strange stray dog were common. Descriptions match a sight hound dog breed from Africa, making it impossible for it to have reached France at that time. The dog, called an Azawakh, was a normal breed, but an important deity in a lesser-known Swahili cult named Watoto Wakifo. But this has nothing to do with the legend whatsoever. You might think this, but you may be wrong. See, Lucy Arnaud's father, Machumba Marjani, was a Waswahili. He was assumed to be a part of the Watoto Wakifo as a leader. He went on a vacation alone back to Swahili, but it was actually a sort of black pilgrimage. He had come back 2 weeks later and brought back something with him. It was suggested in the lyrics of her songs that it was a dog, probably most of the described breed, and after her father's return, she changed. In a weird manner. She vomited excessively and blacked out in the sight of her father. She was proven to be pregnant, but had no husband. She had a decreased appetite, and when she did feel like eating, she would feed herself on raw meat. She became more aggressive and emotionally disturbed over the days. She stopped singing, and her fame was gone for a while. 36 days passed, and she had given birth to her baby. 36 days was much, much too early for a human to give birth. But it was normal for a dog. A day after she gave birth, her mother was dead on the floor, eyes clawed out and bitten on the neck. Her father and the baby were gone, and the only thing left of the baby was a photo. Azawakh.